Namaste, Jai Bharat. Should you draw a picture of a cow and want it to eat grass, how shall the situation be? This is precisely the difference between actual and ideal. In actuality, things are one, and ideally, the things are two or different. You may think, why do I speak such things? Yes. I was looking at the Russia-Ukraine war. We all know that Ukraine was a part of the former Soviet Union, and in all knowledge we get, they were comfortable. And even after the breaking up of Soviet Union, which was in the interest of quite a few people to break Soviet Union into its parts, of course there is nothing unusual from a different perspective, because what brought the Soviet Union together was the brutal strength of communist coercion. There were otherwise no such seriously uniting factor within them. So this falling apart is during the course of time may be natural. So that's not the point. The point is the Russia-Ukraine war. I wonder who is doing what. Ideally, we have lot of very good people at the helm of things at very many places. Ideally, they should stop anything that is against peace in the world. Ideally. But actually, we see such people promoting violences and disturbances. Ukraine could not have fought Russia without external assistance, help, support, and even moral support. Some nations, it appears, are pushing their expiry dated arms to be used here. Otherwise, how could Ukraine stand the might of Russia? Russia is a mighty nation, whether one likes it or not. If Ukraine can fight with them, withstand them, it means Ukraine is more than sufficiently supported from behind. And who are these who support? I don't know. I am not taking people's name. I have guesses and wild guesses. I am not going to speak of my guesses. But one has to agree to the point or fact that there are some people behind, or many people behind, whatever the agencies may be, who speak of all lofty things, good things, excellent things, expressing excellent, noble thoughts, but they are doing this. So this is the difference between the actual and the ideal. Ideally they are one thing, actually they are all different things. This thing happens all over the world. I don't know why people who pose themselves to be great peace lovers are instrumental in creating contradictions and conflicts. They think that's the only method for them to make good of things in their perspective, in their context, in their interest. This is an unfortunate situation. The differences between the ideal and the actual. Ideally, one is one thing, actually they're doing all these kinds of things. You speak something and do entirely different things. Can we really call this as civilization in capital letters? Can we call this a civilization? And apart from that, hegemony is a word, most likely as I understand, coined by Antonio Gramsci, to stand for intellectual deceptions for maintaining social domination. They create such hegemony among their own people as they are the best, and they're led to think that they are the best, they are everything. This is specifically the case with Pakistan. They think they are the best, and there is no end of thinking they are the best, and they get into trouble. They destroy themselves. Reality should be understood to some extent instead of dreaming. Why do you call Marx a romantic? Because he fantasized. He fantasized a situation. He depended on the essential goodness of man. I don't think that anyone can speak today that man is essentially good or not. Darwin would disagree, I'm sure. Because until one is self-seeking, there is no question of survival of the fittest. There is no question of survival of the fittest. Until one is essentially selfish to say that extent. And then comes a great philosophy which was running this full show for a long time. Existentialism. That is also selfish philosophy. So unfortunately, these are the things that we see around. The differences between the ideal and actual is perhaps not getting bridged. In a civilized society, for a civilized existence, there should be a bridge between ideal and the actual. I am not saying that the ideal should really be actual, totally representing, or I won't say that the actual should totally be ideal. No, that is you minus the human elements. Let us not be too ambitious and hopeful. But there at least should be a bridge between the ideal and the actual. Those who separate Ukraine to fight against Russia, former Soviet Union. Those who support Ukraine to fight against Russia should know that there is no relationship between the ideal and the actual. They will speak of great things. Now somebody else has to go and break their head to make some kind of understanding between these two people. Who suffers? Who suffers? No one wins any battle. Everyone speaks of it and no one realizes it seems. No one wins any battle. All peace and tranquility is gone. Think of the people who live in such places, in both the places. Think of the people, their lives, their daily bread, their work. Human beings get used to this kind of hardships and would learn to swim through the hardships to exist. We don't want people to exist miserably. We actually hope for people to exist comfortably. Maybe not luxuriously, but comfortably, without having difficulties and problems. How much you live? No one lives for ever. At least those people who are responsible for this kind of activity, it's not individual, it's a group with some kind of common interest, should realize that they will have to vacate this world one day. They will all die and go, everyone will die and go. At least that thought would have softened their callous and unscrupulous approach towards international politics. That's all I would say. We may meet again. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.